Greetings, Grand Rises tribe. I hope that everybody is staying healthy and doing you in the most bona fide way that you know how. So in this video, I want to share some information and something that should be of concern to all of us. I want to talk about the topic of the weed killer called glyphosate. Now, glyphosate is a chemical that is in one of the weed killer products called Roundup. And if you watch TV, you've probably seen in commercials, you've probably seen plenty of commercials that were talking about Roundup, the weed killer, and it was addressing how the weed killer caused different ailments in human beings and different people. They were different legal teams and lawyers or firms were advertising their firm, and they were doing advertisement for people who possibly had adverse health effects, and people who possibly use the weed killer called Roundup. So glyphosate is in a lot of different products. I brought up Roundup because, again, Roundup is a weed killer, and glyphosate happens to be in the weed killer. Since all of the information came out about how it is linked to health risk, how it is linked to cancers, if you will, there has been companies that actually had products with glyphosate in it who agreed to discontinue the use of glyphosate because of the major health risk and the potential harm to the body. So there's two companies that have not, as far as the research that I've came across, there's two companies that have yet to agree to the discontinuance of using glyphosate. And one of the companies is Bayer and the other one is Monsanto. So some people may ask, well, why am I doing this video and why is it so important? Well, if you don't know, there are companies who do aerial sprays of chemicals, and they do aerial sprays of glyphosate, like in Ontario, for example. They do aerial sprays of chemicals that contain glyphosate. And then when you're talking about a weed killer and Roundup and all of the different products that has glyphosate in it, specifically when we're talking about weed killers, people that are involved in agriculture and cropping and farming, they use weed killers for killing the weeds and things, and they're maintaining the crops. But the problem is that when certain weed killers are being sprayed on the crops, that in turn affects the populace and humanity, or the people that are going to eat those crops, because essentially we're eating those plants, we're eating those vegetables, right? And it's a very high risk thing, because there has been studies that has been shown that the glyphosate actually causes cancer or malignant and benign tumors in rats. There was commentary, if you will. I'm not going to say a study, because I haven't come across anything where there was a study that was proven that there was no effects on there was no negative or adverse effects on human health. But that was actually commentary that I came across. There was commentary that said that there was no evidence of adverse or negative risks to human health. But in the article reports and the research that I did, I came across a article that stated that there was animal tests or tests done on lab rats, and in these tests they found that the chemical glyphosate was causing cancer in the endocrine system. It was causing tumors in the thyroid, the mammary glands, the adrenal glands, the urinary bladder, the reproductive system, you name it. It was causing tumors in the rats. And as people know, a lot of times before people, when people patent certain items, and especially things that are gonna be consumed, is going to be for human consumption, they do a lot of tests on it, and they use animals, or lab rats more commonly, to to get to find out pretty much if it's going to be safe for human consumption or for human use. So for the people who commented and they shared commentary saying that there was no human evidence of health risks, that would be false. That would be a fallacy and very far from the truth, because there is a brother by the name of Dwayne Johnson who actually acquired non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and was actually I believe it was Monsanto, the company Monsanto, who had to pay him in that lawsuit. So he actually he won in that lawsuit. So to further paint the picture for you of the dangers of the chemical glyphosate, is essentially just thinking about how you go to the market, or you go to the farmer's market, or wherever you purchase your produce or your groceries, right? You go get your produce, you go get your fruits and your veggies, your plants, your plant goods, and your fruits and veggies, right? The farmers, they grow these things, and then you have people who come to maintain the crops, and in a lot of the maintenance, they're spraying these chemicals. So the chemicals that they're spraying, some of them have the chemical glyphosate in it. So glyphosate gets into the crops. The crops, they say that they spray them off, or they go into your local grocery chain, and then when you go to the store and you go get it, you see that this water, or some grocery stores, which I think is very cool, when they start to spray the crops, it makes like this thunder sound noise to kind of get your attention and let you know that they're spraying the produce and keeping it fresh for you, right? But when the crops are already sprayed with chemicals, those plant goods, right, those plants and those veggies and those fruits, they contain the chemicals. The chemicals are getting in the food, essentially, right? And then even if you spray it in things, it's already getting into the crops. It's already getting into the fruits and the veggies. So by the time it gets to your plate, you're then eating it, you're consuming those fruits and veggies, and then the more that you take it in, and the more that you eat it, then all of those chemicals and all of those toxins and all of that stuff, it gets in your body and in your system, and then it starts to wreak havoc on the immune system. And then when you talk about cancers, and then creates some type of chemical reaction, to where what happens is your cells start to mutate, and then they start to replicate super fast, and then that's how tumors are formed. That's how tumors are born. And then when that goes haywire and it goes out of whack, it's a wrap from them, because now it becomes cancerous, right? So I just wanted to break that down, and wanted to paint a more colorful picture of what that would look like and why it's actually important. And when we talk about the populace and the general population, and for certain companies who refuse to discontinue using this chemical, you have to wonder, you have to question their morality, and if our best interest is in mind or at heart for these individuals, because it is proven that it is causing major health risks, and especially something as serious as cancer. So I'm making this video from me to you, from my heart to yours, and also to want to raise awareness to my audience and those who are watching and following me, and to also let you know that I think that what we all should do in situations like this, where it's very serious and it concerns all of our health, that all of us ring the alarm, that we all, let our voices be heard when it comes to situations such as what's being put in the food and how people are handling it and how people are maintaining the crops, right? If more people, talk about it, and then also, eventually addressing the appropriate authorities to let them know, hey, we know what's going on and we know the dangers, we know the risks, and we're demanding that you guys discontinue the use of it, right? So if you are vibing with this message, if you resonate with this message, hopefully you can, spread the message, spread the word, and, let other people become abreast to it. Advise somebody that you love, right? So, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Hopefully you have a blessed day. Keep your eyes and your ears open. Stay well. Stay blessed. Ashe.